It is common knowledge that you don't interpret reality like reality happens, and you heard that incredibly wrong. You think I said you need a therapist because you believe in Jesus?
Dear God, creator of the universe, thank you for another blessed day on this blessed planet. It's a beautiful place you created. Happy to be here. Just really happy to be here.
Buddy, God kicked me in the dick as hard as he could. It's soon
we call that
started happening.
God smack. I went, son.
There's no way.
There's you asking your creator to give you strength, wisdom, faith,
never,
knowledge.
ever.
So
never.
that's that you're wrestling with pride.
I never ask.
You're wrestling with pride.
No.
What? Because you.
Do you feel like bringing my higher power or something that I fall in love with to use an example for failing me?
I don't think I've ever did a reaction video particularly. I don't think I've ever did a particular video about it. So why not? Why not make the video? You know, I'm on a business trip, you know, so I figure with the time that I have right now, why not make this video and just really go down the basis of this conversation. I like the video, and I'm gonna try and put these videos in order as much as I can, but this conversation between George and Paul about God bothered me like hell.
A lot of progress happens with a lot of work, right? So if a bodybuilder's buff, he had to work out a lot, he had to eat, he had to make the right decisions.
What about steroids?
So you guys have made great decisions when it comes to business. You guys have made great decisions when it comes to like a lot of things. But what you guys have cared to ever open up is that spiritual side. So what I would really, really, really highly suggest is tap in, and I'm not suggesting mine, but I'm just saying tap into one and see how it affects your emotions, because emotions is a spiritual battle.
I'm spiritual. I'm very spiritual. I pray every night. In fact,
wait, what?
What?
You do? Since when?
I pray every night.
I pray twice a day.
I'll pray right now. I'll do a prayer right now like I do normally.
But all I want to do is just do once. I want you guys to go to one.
You don't want to hear my prayer?
about to pray.
I was about to pray.
You're going to cut him off and put your finger in the air at him like this?
Okay, I'm so sorry.
You fingered me.
I'm so sorry. Go ahead. That was mean of me.
Whoa.
No, it's the end of the day.
Hey,
like normally around this hour, I'd be doing my prayers. This is what I say. Dear God, creator of the universe, thank you for another blessed day on this blessed planet. It's a beautiful place you created. Happy to be here. Just really happy to be here. Feel very grateful that I was very productive today. Felt very full and complete. I got to do what I wanted to do, which was nice. And I'm feeling very fulfilled again. And that feels good. And I'm very happy and thankful about that. I'm exhausted. But I like that because it means I put all of myself into today. And I want to express my gratitude and hope for another good day tomorrow. Amen. Thank you.
I love that. So
Fine with me. And that's pretty much all there is to it when it comes to spirituality. But a lot of people like to try and pinpoint, oh, you got to do it this way or that way. And that's where religion comes into play. But if he was being serious, I don't have an issue with that.
So here's one sec. One sec. Where's the building?
That's crazy.
Where's you asking your creator to give you strength, wisdom,
No,
faith,
never,
knowledge?
ever.
So
never.
that's that you're wrestling with pride.
I never ask.
You're wrestling with pride.
No.
What? Because you.
What? Why is that an issue? Why is there this? There has to be a relationship with God where you're begging and asking Him for something. I don't know, but let's see what Mr. George has to say about this.
Because you think you're at the level of God that you don't need to ask him for anything.
What the fuck?
You guys should fight right now.
That's what I'm saying, bro. No, for real.
No, what? Ask for what? I'm just
Asking
grateful.
you shall receive, seeking you shall find, knocking the door shall be open. These are scripture based. Jesus literally talks about it.
I feel like
he pinpoint on his religion.
Again, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. I feel like if I ask, there's
Repercussions.
I don't know. I just
It's
don't,
like you're doing it for
Bro,
the wrong
literally
reason.
the devil's
You feel
put you in a
like you're doing it for the
headlock
wrong
to not
reason.
I don't know.
grow. Is
Like-
anyone else hearing this?
Yeah,
you
yeah.
don't want to grow. You're scared of it. And that's totally fine. But if there is a God and a creator of the universe and you're his son and you're asking for something, do you think he's going to put you in a position of like devastation just because you asked them? Have you ever asked your mom and dad for something that's not good for you? They're not going to give it to you. But if it's good for you, they will make it fruitful.
Or what if I just came to an understanding of the awareness of my strength and my power, and that's just what it is? Why does it have to be I have to continuously ask for strength and ask for guidance when there's already an inward energy, an inward divine infinite force within me that can give me the guidance and the strength? What happened to I could do all things through Christ who strengthens me? What happens to being led by the Spirit daily? There is no asking for the Spirit to be led daily. You just tap in. You just become aware. You just focus. And this be my problem with religion a lot. But let's continue.
So you should never be scared of asking. You're scared of having a real honest conversation. Once you start, a lot of things are going to start letting go.
One-sided
What do you
conversation.
ask for when you pray? Do you ask for me to be nicer? And if not, can you?
I ask God to open up a relationship between you and him to a point where it's not selfish. And you're not just sitting there talking. You know what your relationship with God is like, a relationship that you would have with a girl or a wife, that you're like saying the things that would make her happy, but you're not really caring or doing the actual work.
Me?
Yes.
Because we've outlined earlier in this podcast, I'm horrible with relationships.
That's what I'm saying. So I'm praying for it. You get what I'm saying? Like, so that is my prayer for you. But my thing is,
Baby,
I
praying
think
for
you're
my downfall.
God, please take him all the way down to the ground so he can be humbled. No. But for example, right, the worst thing to you was Japan, but that is the best character development you've ever had.
And
in
a
your
great
life.
country in general. We have to.
Well, moving on. Let's go to the next video.
Give an example of what
One
you're
that really
saying.
hurt me is you told me I need a therapist because I believe in Jesus.
No,
That
I
one
didn't.
hurt me.
No, I didn't. I said you need a therapist because Jesus isn't quite doing it for you,
No, you
which
didn't.
is
No, you
which is
didn't.
true.
No, you didn't.
I said,
I don't want to stand down. No, you didn't.
You think I said you need a
not what I
therapist
think.
because you
I
believe
checked
in
you and I said,
Jesus?
"What did you just say to me?" And you said, "What did I say?" And you stumbled. And you're like, "I don't know. What would I say?"
No,
and then
no.
you fumbled. And I'm not backing down from
It
this.
is common knowledge that you don't interpret reality like reality happens, and you heard that incredibly wrong. You think
So
I
then what
said you
do I
need
need
a
to-
therapist because you believe in Jesus?
What do I need a therapist for then?
Jesus isn't doing it for you, and
For
I
what do
believe
I need
you're.
a therapist for?
I don't believe you're as emotionally mature as you could be
Then what do I need Jesus for? I mean, what do I need a therapist for?
to get you to level up
In what?
yourself.
In what category? So when you think George needs a therapist, what category am I falling under?
Emotional intelligence.
Emotional. Me.
Yes.
I'm not emotionally intelligent. Could you pick a time and frame any day of our
Sure.
life?
Here's one. 3 weeks ago, when you were sitting in that chair, you stormed off this exact podcast because you were upset about something a comedian said.
No, I was upset that I finally discussed.
Listen, I
that
just
was-
answered your question. I'm not looking for rationalization about the thing. I just answered your question.
Also,
So what are
you
what are trying to
said
say?
in the past that it's you like it when people storm off. So I asked you if I get upset and I want to storm off, is it cool? And you said absolutely.
Georgie, you left, bro.
I'm going to jump in on
Who's
that one.
that?
I'm not sure that that's representative of emotional intelligence. What happens in content is content, bro. It could be entertainment. There's a million things that could happen there.
So should I cite another
I'm
example?
I mean, you can. Yeah, I'm going to jump in occasionally as a guide here.
As a mediator.
Yes.
Also, like these type
Even
of
though you told
conversations
me that I
should be
can't.
behind closed doors.
I don't
Juice.
I think every single person on this planet could really benefit from therapy.
I do agree. And what did I say? I said, yeah, I would love that. And I think
it would be great for you. I really do.
No, I agree, but I don't think saying even okay, hypothetically say you truly did in your heart feel like I needed a therapist.
Which I do.
Okay, but that was the first time we ever brought it up. Do you feel like bringing my higher power or something that I fall in love with to use an example for failing me to use as leverage for me to get a therapist? Do you think that is something a loving human being would say
I do.
to somebody?
I love you, and I don't think Jesus is evolving you in a way that you could be.
That's fine to say that. Yes,
It's coming from a place of
Can
love. I want you to be the best person that you could possibly be. If what I've examined and witnessed in your behavior, I don't think the prayer is doing enough. I think actual conversation with a medical professional will help you learn and discover a lot more about yourself that may open up a bit more wavelengths in your brain to become the person that you want to become.
God.
Well, whoop, there it is. What I will say here, though, is Logan knows George more than anybody from what I've been seeing, right? At least on the basis of business and because, you know, they are best friends. And George, I don't know when he has given his life to Christ, but he considers himself a baby Christian. He has recently given his life to Christ. And I will say that a lot of Christians do suffer from a lot of mental illness. They suffer from a lot of mental issues. And it doesn't even have to particularly be on the basis of believing in a God or believing in Jesus, but a lot of that can be pinpointed to that. And you try to bring all your burdens to Jesus and try to bring all your issues to Jesus, and they never really get resolved because you are having a one-sided conversation, a one-sided relationship with somebody who isn't real. It is so, to Logan Paul's point, if you're just basing everything on your problems, or you're basing somebody to resolve your problems and issues on somebody like Jesus or a higher power, it is okay to tap in and to realize that higher power within yourself to solve those problems. It is not okay for you to think some being outside of yourself is going to solve the problems in your life for you. And if that's his personal opinion, if he feels like that this concept of God or Jesus is not advancing him like the way that it should be, that's fine. And that's actually real good constructive criticism for people who are also within the faith. You think that bringing all of your burdens to Jesus when you're in prayer alone is going to resolve your issues, and maybe you really do need psychological help. Maybe you really need to talk to somebody, talk to an actual person to structure out these problems for you, because when you talk to God, you don't get an answer back. When you talk to God, you don't hear a voice back. So really take heed to that if you are a Christian, or if you are somebody who is questioning your belief system, or you're currently deconstructing, because a lot of people, and I believe this is actually, there's studies that have been done on this, on a lot of mental issues have been done, a lot of mental damage have been done to people who, were raised up in the church or who are religious. Let's continue.
Got you. Now, here's my other question. Did anyone here in this room at all, realistically, know I was going through something?
When?
Mike.
I did.
When the 2 years that I had the hardest years of my life was this past 2 years. Did anybody here know this?
If you didn't tell anyone, how would we know that?
Well, one, I call every one of you guys and check in on you. No one checked in on me. Mike, you checked in on me the first time I called you. Yes, I'm going through things. And I will admit, Mike consistently checked in on me afterwards. The only person that was there wasn't family, wasn't friends, wasn't coworkers. It was my Jesus Christ. And he's the one that...
Not even your girl, Belle?
Belle didn't know.
So, Georgie, are you...
There's some people that can't express,
you
bro.
Like you're asking for a babysitter. You're 29.
No, I'm not. I'm just saying you can't knock something that I gone through and helped save me.
I'm not knocking that.
But you don't know the steps that I took. And there's a lot of people, I believe that the Bible would weigh more than a therapist. And that's my belief. I truly believe that. Because I believe there's a lot more wisdom in the Bible than a human being that's dealing with their own drama could give me pointers on. Do I feel like it's pointless to have a therapist? Absolutely not. That's why
there's probably merit in that. And I think I agree with you.
So that's the end of the video. I would never say any book that you read or any God that you find some type of connection with could bring you true clarity and content than talking to another human being about your problems, than talking to somebody where you're going to get actual clarity and not riddles and not a little breeze in the sky, a little sign in the air, a little notification on your phone. I don't feel, and this is just my personal perspective, I do not think that you can get true clarity thinking that you're having a personal, intimate relationship with somebody you've never seen before, you never heard from before, and you don't really interact with this person. You don't really have a relationship with this person. If this person was to show up to you without all the glamour and the spotlight, you would not be able to tell him apart from anybody else. If somebody was to walk up to you and tell you, I am Jesus, the Lord of Lords and King of Kings, you would laugh and walk away. But what if it was? It's not. That's not how Jesus is coming back. You see what I'm saying? But this be the problem. This is exactly what I was talking about how like a lot of Christians feel like their religion and their relationship with God is all that they need. And there'd be continuous crash outs with a lot of religious people where their whole life is spiraling down. And instead of them getting the actual help that they need, whether it's medical, whether it's psychological, whether it's relationships, a lot of Christians are in very bad, abusive relationships, whether it's verbal, emotional, spiritual, mental, physical. a lot of Christians are in very bad, toxic relationships, and they just keep on striving because they think that God wants them to push through the long suffering, to push through all the trials and tribulations, that this must be a sign of God testing my faith. Now, this is a video, I believe maybe a few weeks after the video that we just watched. And this is something that has been clipped where Logan Paul admits to George that he got punished by God for mocking him.
I made some pretty
He's gonna go
pretty
cry.
out of
He's
line
gonna go cry.
comments to George about George's beliefs. And I said, I'm not going to say what I said. I'm not even going there again because I'll tell you why. The following 3 weeks have been the hardest period of my fucking life. Buddy, God kicked me in the dick as hard as he fucking could.
Did you just fist pump that?
It's soon
We call
as it
that
started
a
happening.
God smack.
I
You
went,
got God smacked,
I went,
son.
There's no way. There's no way. We started off in Qatar. I got violent food poisoning.
Oh, before that, camera taken away at the airport.
Oh yeah.
Immediately
$20,000
upon
camera
landing.
taken.
So-
We were invited by Qatar. We landed in Qatar. Camera stripped from us. All right, fire. $20,000 camera. All right, no problem.
Which he got.
We got it back a couple days later, but we get to my hotel. It's just little things here and there. Things aren't showing up. We misscheduled. Again, got violent fucking food poisoning. Next day, got alcohol poisoning. Our luggage was delayed, so we had no clothes to get to our events. Qatar was the first time I felt the wrath of God, and then
And then
the Zilla stuff dropped,
ear to ear.
and I had some shit happen in Denmark when I was supposed to meet my girlfriend's parents.
me and you got in a scuffle
Wait.
outside the game.
Oh, me and Mike got in a massive fight. I got in his face
Yeah.
because Nina put her finger. She's a pointer, and she put her finger in Mike's face, and Mike, rightfully so, goes, "Get your finger out of my face." and then I instinctual, I go, "What the? I'll smack the fuck out of you. That's my girl."
No, you said, now my finger's in your face. What are you gonna do about it?
That sounds more like.
And I literally just said, I'm going to go in the game now, and I walked away. But it was just a representation of just how horrible things had gotten.
Listen, ironically, I defamed Jesus and God, and I felt His wrath. And by the way, I want to make something clear, and I have something I'd like to say to you that I've been thinking about, but I'm gonna say that for a second because I want to hear your take on this. But I'm not a fucking atheist. I believe in God. People think I don't believe in God. I might not identify as the same God as you, but it was very telling to me how the karmic energy of the universe, this is what I'll call it, just went right back around and put me in my place.
Okay, and while George is over there smiling ear from ear once again, this is very disturbing because for you to think in your mind that your God has to punish somebody to a point where they are on their knees, they are on the breaking point of their life in order for them to realize your power and your goodness and your, I don't know, benevolence. I don't even know what to describe this God, right? This fragment of a God. For you to even shape it in a way of you getting karma or getting punished by an entity because you don't have any respect for the entity is just very telling in the way of how we psychologically see things about this God, that this God has to put hands on you. He has to ruin your life so that you know who he is. He doesn't have to show forth his love to you. He doesn't have to show you mercy or grace to you to show how much he cares about you or to show you that he is real and exists. He doesn't have to do all of that. But you'll know, you will be on your knees and you'll know that is God. When you are on your last $25 in your bank account, you'll know that is God. When you are in your bed tossing and turning and you don't know what's wrong with your body, that's when you'll know that is God. Why is it that we can signify God when something bad happens in your life and not when something good happens in your life? Most of the time people will say it's the devil. But how is it that God is willing to punish somebody for mocking him? He doesn't give any type of He doesn't give the same energy to somebody of somewhere else in this world that could be going to church diligently every week, putting in their last 25 cents, don't have clothes on their back, barely have food on the table. He doesn't do nothing for them. But for somebody like Logan Paul, he just so happens to have a couple of messed up weeks with his brand and all the money that he generates with him being a celebrity. He somehow goes through some pain for a few weeks and thinks it's God. Karma. For the most part, you could have been doing it to yourself. But that's also a decision. That's an option. All this could be in your mind. All this could be in your head. Maybe you should have watched out for what you was eating, what you was putting in your body. Maybe you should have been a little more careful with your resources and your camera and all these different things. The hash out with your friend. Maybe it's very interesting how religious people or people who believe in God or whatever the case is, they think when something bad happens in their life, it's, oh, woe is me. Why God? Why me? Let's continue. What George got to say about all of this?
You want me to tell you something? I'll make this quick because people tend not to love when I talk about Jesus. But let me just tell you something. Actually, no, I don't want to come off like condescending. This is actually how I feel. Because I came off like funny, but I don't want people to think I'm telling a joke. The night before it happened, bro, I'm sitting and I'm reading the Bible. And I literally say a prayer to God. And I go, man, like, this is when me and you were kind of like going back and forth. And I was getting pissed at you. And I was like, fucking dude, God, I know you love him, but I want to kill him. I want to punch him in the face. I want to hurt. Wait, hold on. Let me finish. Okay. But I know you don't want me to. And I know you love him. And I know this opportunity between two best friends could open a lot of people's eyes to who God is. So I sat there and I said, God, whatever direction. And by the way, I was getting so much heat for the Bobby Lee thing, for walking off. This was the period, right? So I sat there and I go, God, what do you want from me, bro? And I swear I have two witnesses. God says, be quiet and love. And I was just like, whoa. And like, bro, like I felt it, right?
Wait, who are the witnesses?
Watch. So I'm in the kitchen. Belle's cooking dinner, and I sat there and I go, Belle, I think God just talked to me. Like I'm not trying to be like a lunatic. And she goes, what do you mean? And I go, I think, and hear me out. I think I just got to talk out of love. I got to talk out of love. And she's like, why do you keep saying that? And I was like, I don't know. I just feel like I got to talk out of love. And it was so strong in my heart, bro. I left my Bible and my phone right by Belle. And I sat on the couch and I'm just sitting off and I'm like, bro, what does he want from me? What does he want from me? What does he want me to do? How can I fix this? How can I go and portray Jesus in the best way possible? I get a phone call. I miss it because I'm over here. Another phone call. She goes, hey, Adam is blowing up your phone. The guy who works, from the chiropractor place. And I answer the phone. He's dripping wet, bro. Like he just got out of the shower. He goes, bro, I got to tell you something. He goes, whatever you're doing, Jesus told me to tell you that he loves you, and yes. And I'm like, what? I go, why did you just say that? Belle put her knife down. I go, buddy, back up. Why did you say that? He goes, I have no idea what's going on. I'm in the shower, because that's why he was wet. He goes, I'm praying about my family, my friend. He goes, 3 times in my prayer, God interrupted me. He goes, go tell George whatever he feels in his heart is right. So I go, whoa. The next day, I'm standing here on the podcast, and you're saying this shit. And I'm like, whoa, he's really like spewing out his heart. He's really spewing out his heart. And 2 things I caught in our conversation that we were having. When I said, Jesus is my Lord and Savior, you said, he's mine too. And that rang in my heart. I go, that's weird. Because like we're not seeing that on the same page. And then you were fighting that I needed a therapist and that the Bible wasn't enough. And I said, I think the Bible has more knowledge than any man. And you said, I think that has merit to it.
Wait, say that again. Please say that again.
That the Bible has more wisdom than a man who's trying to
or woman.
Or woman, or whatever, with therapist. And you said, yeah, I believe that has merit to it. And it was at that moment, bro, where I was like, oh my God. Like we're learning. So how I see it is God has an arrow, right? And I'm sitting here thinking I'm right, and you're sitting there thinking you're right. And I had a habit of speaking out of like, yo, I have to convince you, I have to do this. But sometimes it didn't come from love because I'm convicted and I'm just trying to like help you. And then you're like, nah, fuck that, blah, blah, blah. And all we had to learn is like, regardless of what you say and regardless of what I say, speak out of love.
So, first off, a lot of us are just loving beings. we should want to spread love to one another. And a lot of us have that intuition within ourselves to spread love and to love one another, even when you having a hash out with your best friend. And a lot of us, we filter a lot of the things that we get signals within our internal body, and we filter it with our religion, whether it's Jesus or Allah, or whatever the case is. Not falling for the okie doke of Jesus talking with people and being very selective about his message. I don't find the connection with Jesus telling George to just spread love, and meanwhile Logan Paul was going through hell. Because this is actually pinpointed to what I just said earlier about why wouldn't God just show more so of love and mercy rather than wrath? Right? His mercy endures forever. Wouldn't it have shown a little bit more? Wouldn't it have meant a little bit more to Logan Paul to see the mercy and love and goodness of God rather than to see his wrath and karma and all these different things happening in his life? And granted, even more so, right? What's a bad week for Logan Paul might be a good day for a lot of other people. Let's also keep that in mind. You know, these bad few weeks that Logan Paul has had, he can easily get back on the come up. He's very well managed. He's you know what I'm saying, wealthy, all these different things. Like what's a bad week for Logan Paul? Some people wish they had. So I just can't fall for that okie doke. I see right through that. And like I said, there is a big disconnection here between George saying Jesus is telling him just to show forth love. Meanwhile, if he's being signaled to show forth love, why in the world is God showing forth wrath? He's being signaled to just show love and bring mercy and have grace. Jesus and God is acting a whole different way. I don't know. But let's continue.
Speak out of love. So then when the whole world went from like, look at his pussy, he doesn't know how to talk, he's so stupid, he talks about Jesus, he walks off, and then you did what you did, and then God literally took the whole world and flipped it on its head. And it was right at the moment where I was like battling. I'm like, God, like, you gave me everything that I have to sit in this chair. I go, am I speaking too much about you? Are people getting annoyed? Like, what's the deal? What's happening here? And to be honest, bro, like, it just came to the conclusion of this. There is a very, very, very real God. I don't care who stands before me now. There is a very real God. And if anything, Logan, you should take away that, bro, like the Japan thing was one thing, but you're a good-hearted person. And you learned from that and you moved on. And a lot of people in the comment section was like, Logan doesn't deserve George. George should leave and go do other podcasts. And I sat there and I really mean to say this from my heart, bro. Like, what kind of man are you? That when your friend says something or does something that you're like, okay, now the one time he fucks with me, I'm out. I'm done. I'm not. Like, it really made me realize that we are in a generation fueled by burn the neighbor that's next to you. And I just wanted to take the time to say thank you for everything you've given to me. Thank you for the opportunity you've given to me. I'm sorry you're going through what you're going through. But God loves you, and he is still with you regardless of the situation that you put yourself in, regardless in the light that you want to paint yourself in. There is a very real God that will walk through this journey with you. Even
now, I will say that we do live in a generation where we burn bridges easily. We will literally cut somebody off for the littlest of things. I talk about how I lost a friend over making a joke about Trump. And she just blocked me on everything, and there was nothing else to do with me. Black Christian, a black atheist. Black atheist, we used to talk consistently. She even bought stuff from my merch, from my store and everything like that. Like, we used to talk like this. We used to start our FaceTime calls. We had a little signature thing, like everything, and she just threw all of that away because there was this delusion, this programming that was being pushed on social media of like, you need to cut off your friends if they voted for Trump, or if they sided with Trump. You need to cut off these type of people if they didn't vote. Like, this is the world that we live in, where they push even throughout the media selectively for you to love one and hate the other. And if they don't get with this program that we are telling you to be programmed with, you need to discard them immediately. And it let me know, despite religion, despite belief systems, people are highly programmed. Don't let anybody fool you to think that just because they're not religious, that they also aren't programmed. Or there's a lot of programmed non-religious people. Just because you don't serve Jesus doesn't mean that you ain't serving somebody. Yeah, write that one down. But to pinpoint on George talking about, God is walking with you, I do believe that I am one with God. I am an extension of God, and everywhere that I go and walk, I have my ancestors, spirit guides. I have that divine force walking with me daily. So I can actually appreciate this. I can appreciate, that him being a Christian, he's just given his sincerity and his love and dedication, and even thanking him for the opportunities in their life, in his life. I still can't get with the okie doke of Jesus trying to tell him something. And I even hate even more that Christians will be so selective of God is trying to tell a specific person something, and yet he can't solve the needs of a group of people. He can't solve the needs of somebody else in another place of the world who have been suffering for generations. Like I said, Logan is well off. He is good. So whether he believes in God or not doesn't mean anything, because everything that he's doing is on his own work. He's putting in the work. The reason why Logan Paul is who he is because he put in that work. God didn't give it to him. No God gave it to him. Now we can get all technical. His personality, God gave him his personality. Okay. But at the end of the day, he is an extension of that energy. He produced his own brand. He produced his own personality. That was all on him. God didn't tell him to do that. He used his creative mind and the creative force within him to do that. You feel me? Anywho, let's end out this video.
Even though the whole world turned against you, that God is right near you. Neither him or me or Mike or any single person here will ever abandon a man like you, because you're not worth abandoning. And I love you.
God damn.
Well,
I love you, bro.
Maybe not the.
Okay, well, we'll end off on that video. So yeah, I just decided I just wanted to do a reaction video on Logan Paul and George Janko real quick, because why not? I've seen the video before. I have not seen that video before, though. I haven't seen the post video to, that hash out that they had. And even like the reaction video before we did this one, like it wasn't as hectic, but like I said, that was like a little snippet of the conversation just to give you a little feel. They even discussed that and talk about it in their conversation here on, how real hectic that conversation had got. So I don't personally believe that a God from the sky, wherever this God may dwell, is so selective to pinpoint to one person or another his holy wrath so that they'll know that he is God. And meanwhile, there's millions of people in this world that may be suffering, crying out to God, praising God, diligently going to church, diligently reading his word, and yet they don't get anything. But Logan Paul, of all people in the world, because he has such status and fame in the world, Logan Paul, God wants to use Logan Paul. If you like more commentary like this, let me know also in the comment section below. And I have a video for you right here that you are going to love. All right. So I'll see you in the next one.